On this episode of Turning Point Tactics, I'm going to talk about the UK tournament scene and important data for you as to what's going to happen for classification over the next few months and what that means for you as a tournament player if you're looking to go to a tournament in the UK. The bold message up front, if you want to skip the rest of the video, is essentially the majority of competitive events will be using a classified format for the UK, and therefore you will be unable to play declassified teams at competitive events such as golden ticket events and this sort of thing, but you would be able to play them potentially at local narrative and casual events, but you'll need to make sure to check with your local TO before you try to bring one of those teams to those events. I'm going to get into a bit more data on it now, but that's the headline message straight up if you don't have time to watch the rest of the video. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Turning Point Tactics, the competitive Killteam 40k YouTube channel focused on giving you the strategies and tactics to seize initiative every turning point. I'm your host Ryan, and I'm here to help give you the tips and tricks to elevate every part of your Killteam experience. So no matter if you're a casual or a competitive player, there should be something here for you. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there's a few ways you can go about doing so. You can join the Patreon, where you get access to members only Discord, Patreon priority questions, early access to content, exclusive content, and tournament awards. Or if you find yourself buying Killteam goodies or hobby supplies, you can use one of our affiliate links in the description below, or discount codes with Crossfire Games and GG Prints. We're always keen to hear your thoughts and feedback, so don't leave that comment box empty. Let us know what you think. Once again, thanks for your support, and with all that said, let's get into it. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the way the new classified format works for Killteam is there will be a kind of an annual rotation of teams where some of the older teams will be phased out of competitive play, essentially legends of sorts as to what they would describe it as for the game, right? That will be aligned every year with the Warhammer World Championships. So you're looking at November time each year is when this will happen, and the oldest teams will then move into being non-competitive teams. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't play them at your local club. It doesn't mean that the rules won't be available for the team. It doesn't mean that there might be some balance changes or rata changes for the rules in future. But generally what it means is that you won't be able to buy those teams in boxed Killteam options. You won't necessarily be able to find them in stock or something like this. And they may not be balanced particularly well for competitive play. Either they'll be bad or they might be broken, and we don't necessarily know. The main thing that when we're talking about this, and one of the main decision points that drives it, is the experience for players and making sure that you can guarantee a baseline experience across the competitive community. So if you're a new player and you want to get into tournaments, but for instance Gellerpox happen to be the strongest team there are, and you can't buy Gellerpox anymore, and the rules aren't easy to find, and you never played them before, and you lose your event because you find this team that you've never seen or known before, that might be a bad experience. So one of the things that we've wanted to do is try to align that experience across everyone, to make sure that as a community we're all on the same page as to what it means to go to a UK competitive event. Now, as I said, the main thing is that it's going to happen in November, and therefore the events post that the 9th of November cutoff date will start to use this classified format, and those teams will start to phase out. Now, I have spoken to quite a lot of the UK TOs to make sure that hopefully we give you an accurate example of what is going on as possible, and I highly recommend that you go and engage with local TOs to make sure that they can explain to you why they've made the decision, what's driving the decisions, and be truthful and transparent. So for awareness, I'm part of a TO WhatsApp group in the UK where all the UK TOs discuss events. We talk about FAQs and we try to help run the UKTC events and this sort of stuff. And essentially this is where the discussion came from, to be like, okay, what are we as a UK community doing, and making sure that you as the players get the right information straight away. So the reason why I'm doing this video is to hopefully explain some of that logic, let you guys know the data and the thoughts behind it, and maybe give you a bit more of a personal to and fro, so you understand the decision rather than just seeing it in black and white and thinking, oh, why has this happened? So yeah, context is there are almost too many teams in Killteam at the moment. Games Workshop acknowledged this, and Games Workshop are trying to reduce the pool of available teams. Now, there's a few reasons that drive this, not just from the sort of rules bloat of the potential of the game when you start getting to sort of 40, 50, 60, 70 teams, but also just practicality of stocking boxes and kill teams. Games Workshop can't continue to have all of these individual bespoke teams stocked all the time, and therefore they will start to run out of stock, and therefore new players joining the game for the first time might not be able to get these teams. And part of the sales pitch for kill teams, it's supposed to be accessible, it's supposed to be able to pick up these boxes, go to a tournament and play. And if you find that 30% of the teams, 40% of the teams, whatever, you can't find them in stock anymore, but they're all being played at a competitive level, then that might be a feels bad for you going to tournaments. So in one aspect, it's for the beginners to understand that, as you go into these things, you're going to be playing on a level playing field. Everyone's going to have the same information that you have. You have access to the same teams as everyone else, and therefore you're not being put at a disadvantage when you turn up to a tournament by not having something that got released many years ago that you now can't get access to today. The main bit is that, again, this is probably going to be rolled out for some beginner events, but primarily for competitive events and golden ticket events. So for clarity, I just want to make sure everyone's aware, for golden ticket events in the UK, the majority of kill team scenes, and I'll talk through them now, are going to implement the classified system. And this is because if you were to win a golden ticket event, when you then go to the World Championships of Warhammer, they will only allow classified teams at the World Championships of Warhammer. So I'm a big Phobos player, right? So let's say I get really, really good with Phobos and I win a golden ticket next year, but I'm rubbish with every other team. Well, if I then go to the World Championships of Warhammer and I can't play Phobos and I'm not a good player with them, then suddenly, I've sort of misrepresented the ability of me and my team when I get to that next level of event. And also it'd be unfair to make you then necessarily go out and buy a new team to then go and do this, right? So we sort of understand that, okay, and it's trying to be transparent, it's trying to be fair, it's trying to make it easier for new players getting into the hobby and to be consistent with Games Workshop events across the UK. Now I know there's going to be people that are going to be angry about this. Trust me, I am someone that has all 14 teams that are being made declassified, right? So there is me. I'll be very sad when they get made declassified, and it doesn't mean that there won't be events where you can't where you won't be able to play them. Many local TOs have said they intend to, have and run local events that are going to allow declassified teams. But I think the norm going forwards for the majority of events is going to be for the classified system to be in place. And therefore I highly recommend that you engage your TO, check your pack and make sure that you know if you can or can't bring a classified team. So for awareness, so you know who I've spoken to about this, I've spoken to the UKTC TOs, I've spoken to the London Wargaming Guild, the Bristol Killteam TOs, Yorkshire Killteam, Killteam Leicester, Notts Killteam, Jab Wargames, Killteam Brighton, Norwich Killteam, Cambridge Killteam, Lincoln Killteam, Deadwood, King of the North, and obviously myself as the Turning Point Tactics TO as well. Now there are probably more TOs out there that we haven't contacted. I'm sorry if you're on that list, but please just in the description, just let us know if you're going to be following the classified format or not, and then people can understand and engage in their local area what will be happening. But for most players, these are some of the largest events that I'm aware of, and therefore all of those TOs have sort of said that will be likely the way it goes. There are some caveats. Each TO has their own caveat as to what they will and won't do, but the majority are aligned with the mentality of if it's a golden ticket event, you're going to be playing with a classified team. If it's a beginner-friendly event, there may be some deviation from that, but they would probably prefer it to be classified to make it easier for beginner players and easier for TOs to manage. But they've also, a lot of them have said they will look to run narrative events and declassified events advertised as such to enable people to be able to play with those teams that they have potentially lost access to in those other events. So I'm not saying it's going away, but I'm just letting you know that a lot of those events are probably going to be focused on the classified format. Okay, so for UKTC then, what does this mean? Well, all of them are going to be adopting the classified format because they're all of those competitive golden ticket events, and therefore at that point there will be no narrative UKTC at this time. Not so that it won't change in the future, but that's where we are right now. So as soon as the World Championships of Warhammer is finished on the 9th of November, they'll then adopt the classified format, which means the first UKTC event will be the Autumn ITT on November the 15th. So that will be the first classified UKTC event. And as I said, for those other Killteam communities as well, you'll then be able to understand what's happening with them. Again, I just want to try and make it clear to people, we're trying to be as consistent as possible with events, and we're trying to make sure as a TO cadre in the UK that we don't, create big rifts or divisions between communities. We want to make sure that you have a good play experience wherever you go, and you have a consistent play experience, and that's what we're trying to achieve with this. So hopefully that's of some use. The other thing that's really important that I just want to touch on as well is the introduction of Approved Ops 2025. So the majority of TOs will implement a 1 week rules cutoff for Approved Ops 2025. I have an announcement specifically for the London Grand Tournament. A rules cutoff will be 1 week prior to the London Grand Tournament, which means if the new Approved Ops comes out the weekend of the 20th and 21st of September, it will be in force for the following weekend on the 27th and 28th of September for the London Grand Tournament, if it comes out prior to that. So we're kind of expecting it in the next few weeks, but if it doesn't come out on the 21st or 20th or 21st, it will not be in force for the London Grand Tournament on the 27th and 28th. So that will be the rules cutoff. And that's for a few reasons. One is we want to make sure TOs have time to read into the rules and actually understand the changes to the crit op, tac ops, and all this sort of stuff to make sure they can give you accurate and fair rulings on the day. The other one is for players to be able to do the same thing. You want to make sure you've had sufficient time to be able to actually read and understand the changes to the match play system, rather than getting caught out by something you didn't know had changed. And like the counter to it is that if the new rules come out and then we say, no, you're going to play the old rules, then I think a lot of players will be really, really keen to play the new stuff, and they might have a sort of like I don't know if I want to go to the tournament or not. Now, clearly, there might be some caveats with this based on stock levels and that sort of thing. So if we see that there is not enough stock in the UK and no one's able to get cards on the day, there'll be an announcement close to the time to be able to say what's going to happen. But we're not expecting any issues with stock or anything like this, because usually the stock issues are for the models, because 40k players buy a lot of the models to use in their own armies, and they take the Killteam stock. So for us, it's I think likely that we'll see Approved Ops come out, and hopefully everyone can get access to them and therefore have them available and expect to play in the LGT with them. So those are the big bits that I think people should be taking away. As I've said before, we're running a Killteam events page on talkify.com/Killteam events/pinboard. It's in the description below. You can check it out. And on there, you can see all of the events. And as I said, generally, I would suggest you can check with the TO, but it's going to be about a week for rules cutoff timelines. And therefore, if it's within a week of that, you might find that your local TO hasn't had sufficient time to be able to read those rules, digest them, and process them. And therefore, I would expect it to be under the old Approved Ops. But each TO has their right to change that. But we're expecting it in the next few weeks. So do with that information what you will. As I said, if it's on the weekend of the 20th and 21st or before, it will be enforced for the London Grand Tournament, which is one of the largest tournaments that we have. I believe ticket sales are still open for that, by the way, and there's up to 88 players, I think, at the moment. So it'd be really cool if we can get that over 100. So please do look at that and consider it, because it could potentially be the first sort of big grand tournament of the new Approved Ops season, and it'd be cool to get like 100 players immediately, playing Approved Ops 2025. That'd be pretty epic. Okay, that is going to be it. I just want to get that key information and data out. Thank you very much to the TOs again from all those communities. So that was the UKTC TOs, London Wargaming Guild, Bristol Killteam, Yorkshire Killteam, Killteam Leicester, Notts Killteam, Jab Wargames, Killteam Brighton, Norwich Killteam, Cambridge Killteam, Lincoln Killteam, Deadwood, and King in the North guys. Appreciate all that you do as TOs for the local communities. I also appreciate that the classified, declassified is not an easy decision to make, and you can tell that TOs are trying their hardest to make sure that you as the player have the most fun when you come to one of their tournaments and have the least possible bad experience for whatever happens. So once again, if you have any questions with any of this, do reach out to your local TOs. Engage with them and make sure that they understand, what your issues are or what the problem might be, and they might on a case-by-case basis be able to help you out with whatever your particular situation is, or organise more declassified events if that's what the community wants. But from talking to the players, I think most people are expecting the majority of events to go classified as of November the 9th going forwards. So for me, that's what I expect for the UK community. That's what the majority of the TOs expect, and from the players I've spoken to, they expect as well. And there will be access to some declassified event that will be specifically advertised as declassified to show you that you can still use your other models. Hopefully that's been useful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below, and we'll try and get around to answering them and get the message out. But let people know what's going on. That's the decision behind it, the sort of the reasoning, and hopefully that informs you as to what the UK is doing when it comes to the classified, declassified rotation. Hope it's been helpful. I'll see you guys next time. That brings us to the end of the episode. Hopefully you found something new or useful while listening, and if you did, throwing us a like would be greatly appreciated. If you want to make sure you don't miss any episodes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the bell so you get notifications as soon as the next one drops. It really is the best way to help a small channel like ours. And if you can't wait and you do want early access, we have a Patreon where you can get exclusive access to all our content ahead of time. As always, we'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Just drop a comment below and we'll get right to you. Thank you so much for listening. I'm your host Ryan, this has been Turning Point Tactics, and we'll see you next week.